afternoon and welcome to another live episode through YouTube. This is our new home now. So welcome to our new home here on Stray Whisker TV, where we will cover a whole array of topics, primarily about shaving, of course, but they could be about all sorts of other things. I have people have DM'd me and said, what's with all this philosophical, sociological, anthropological, economical stuff that you're getting into? Why are you doing this, Con? Why can't you just be talking about shaving creams and about razor blades and brushes? Why can't you just stick to that? Well, it's my party and I will cry if I want to, but I won't be crying. And I won't be crying because Peg Leg is in the house. Lovely to see you. If you're following us and watching us for the very, very first time, hello. You put new down below, and that way I know that you're new, and you shall become a marked person, a person of interest, no doubt. Also, if you want to find out about these lives when they happen, when they drop, you can just subscribe and hit the little bell thing. You know what it's all about. I'm sure you've watched YouTube videos before. I'm not here to teach you how to suck eggs, but it would be nice if you press the little notification button, because then you'd be notified and you'd say, I'd better stay away from YouTube now that he's on, or whatever. I mean, you know, whatever floats your boat. Of course, if you're watching this on replay, welcome to one and all. Finn, why are you slow this evening? Why are you slow? No, you're here, and I'm delighted that you're here. If you're watching us in Australia on the eastern seaboard, it is 3:33 p.m. Now, God knows what time it is in your neck of the woods, but any time is a good time, especially when it comes to talking about today's topic, which is an interesting one. I'm not going to say that, I've had questions about this and people have been contacting me and they've wanted to know about this or that, or whatever. No, I'm not going to say that. This is a question or a topic that I figured I should just talk about because I guess everyone does. There's a lot of information out there. A lot of people read the forums and jump on Reddit, the armpit of the internet. Yes, I said it, okay? They jump on Facebook and all sorts of other social media platforms. And one of the questions that comes up is the open razor versus the closed razor. And we are going to hopefully turn this into an open and shut case. By the end of this live, you will, I hope, either be a little more enlightened about the topic. You may even like to share your experiences. In fact, I would encourage you to do so. I would encourage you to tell me about your experiences with the said razors. So basically what we'll do, we'll talk very quickly, we'll get into some nomenclature, what the parts of the razor are called. Essentially, the open and closed razor is about the razor head, okay? The handle could be anything. Could be a resin, could be a stainless steel, could be wooden, could be anything. It's not really about the handle in this case. It has to do with the razor head. I will try and dispel some myths. There is some mythology surrounding the open and closed razor. And I suspect that this mythology has arisen due to form more than function. Anyway, let's just see who's on the live here. We've got Leon. Lovely to see you on the live, Leon. You like the philosophical discussions. I figured you might. And it's also nice that you're very excited about today's topic, as am I. And if anyone has just happened to come across this live cast, they'll say, wow, really exciting, talking about open and closed comb safety razors. Get a life, guys. But no, this is not what this is about. This is a topic which, again, has been debated ever since these things have been around since 1905-ish, 5-6. Hello, Roderick. Nice to see you on the live. It's really nice to see that you now have. Most people are actually enjoying this this YouTube format, as am I. Facebook is, as I said, has given me trouble. I don't want to talk about too much about Facebook. Anyway, without further ado, let's talk about the safety razor, and I will use a typical safety razor. The brand is immaterial. It's not relevant in this instance. What is relevant though is the parts of the safety razor and what distinguishes one from being an open comb to a closed comb. Well, firstly, let's talk about the comb and what they're referring to there. So you can see there that this bit here is called the comb, or the safety bar, I should say. It's one of these. It's one of these things that newbies or people that are new to wet shaving come to and think, oh my God, that looks quite aggressive. Can you cut yourself with this stuff? That is primarily the idea, although you're not really meant to cut yourself, but reduce the size of your whiskers. So there is a closed comb, and here is an example of an open comb. You can just see that. You can see there's like little teeth. And it actually looks like a comb of sorts. And there are also some that exhibit both the open and closed comb. And in this instance, I have an icon here that you can see. This side here is the closed comb, and the other side is the open comb. That's an icon razor. Works fairly well. I like it. Although I was never quite understood why you would want to put one on one side and one on the other. I sort of get it. It works, and this also feeds into the mythos of the open comb versus the closed comb. Let's talk briefly then about why you would want to buy an open comb. Now, at one time in the history of safety razors, these were the only things that were available before the safety bar came along. And in fact, I might have one here. This beautiful little specimen. I'm going to show you, although it probably needs a bit of a clean. So this was essentially it. And the thinking behind it is, and it sort of makes sense, that once you lather your face and you come at it with an open comb safety razor, then that open comb will leave trails of lather, right? Which means you can then go over the same spot over and over again, and it will still provide some protection. So you're not essentially scraping away or eliminating all the lather as you would with a closed comb or closed bar, right? So the rake or the comb leaves trails of lather on the skin. And presumably the idea is that is why this is better for or provides a milder shave. The other thing, of course, about it is that it supposedly exposes more blade. Now, strictly speaking, because you have all those individual combs, yes, more blade is exposed, but is it exposed to your skin a little more? And that is the thing that is debatable. Having used both an open and closed comb, I can say that in my personal experience, I haven't found the open comb to be that much more efficient. Again, please remember, there's a whole range of variables. There's the preparation, soap, and expertise. I haven't used an open comb for a while. I suspect that if I was to use it, again soon, I would just pick it up and utilise the same sort of technique that I would with a closed comb. Is there a discernible difference though? And this is the question. Is there a discernible, and I'd like you to contribute, please. Let us know if you found there to be a difference, if you use an open comb and a closed comb. Some people swear by them. That's the same with anything in shaving. Some people claim that one thing is better than another. It works really well for them. For others, it doesn't quite work. But I have found that I'm not getting a vastly better shave with an open comb razor. There, I said it. Is it a gimmick? No. Is this thing a gimmick where one side's open and the other side's... Have a good look at that. Close, we can just have a good look at that. Look, I'm not going to be horrible and say that it's a gimmick. To me, I found that when I use an open comb razor, if I haven't prepared well and I haven't got a decent coverage of lather, it feels a bit scrapey to me. It feels like it's a little more scrapey. That's the first thing. Now, what does that mean? Well, of course, it's how it feels on my skin, but it also does something else. It provides audible feedback, right? And if you think about this, it sort of makes sense. You have more of the blade exposed along the bar, and so if you're going to have more of the blade exposed, you're going to have the whiskers exposed to more of the blade. You're probably going to get a little bit more audio feedback, although that is not the only thing that creates audio feedback. It has to do with blade gap, it has to do with certain tolerances. So it's not just, oh, I'll buy an open comb safety razor because I want more audible feedback. But there is a tendency, and I have noticed this, that you do get more audible feedback. Now, why is that important? Well, apart from the fact that I just love the sound of whiskers coming off in the morning, it lets you know exactly whether you've dealt with a particular spot. Because if you go over that spot again and you don't get the audio feedback, it means that you have reduced the beard. It's, as I said, it's an open, the open and closed debate is a personal preference. I don't dislike open combs, I just don't use them that much. And I have razors that they're just on show. They're there. I have them because at one stage in my very sad and sorry life, I collected these things. And I'm one of these guys that won't use... I don't collect razors to use them. I collect to sort of just collect and not use. Some I use, and I think, and I know there's a whole debate, people just say, just use the bloody razor. Don't, just have it gathering dust up on a shelf somewhere. What good is that? So, yes, we've got some comments coming through here. Leon has said it is more audible. Indeed, although that word audible has now been contaminated somewhat. Anyway, he also says that he has too many of both but have a preference for open comb. Yep, excellent. Look, are you finding that it's a better shave, Leon? I'd be interested to hear, and I'd be interested in hearing others' opinions on this. Are you getting a better shave from an open comb? And if you are, what is that attributed to? Is it you think that there's more of a, do we have a, greater blade exposure? One thing I have noticed, though, is that with your typical closed comb, the angle of the razor blade seems to be quite interesting. If you have a look at that, that's sort of fairly flat. You can see that. That's kind of almost horizontal compared to the sort of angles you're going to get in other. That's quite pronounced, the curve on that. So what is it? I'd like to know. Rod has said that the only open comb I've used is the Parker 69CR that comes with an open and closed comb base plate. I find the closed comb base plate to be more aggressive than the closed comb, but I don't really care. Now, is it for the Parker geometry overall? Yes. It's interesting, the whole thing with Parker, I believe it was Mantic once that said that he'd reached out to Parker and asked them about their razors. And that's Mark Hero, for those that are interested. And Parker for the domestic market is even worse in terms of its quality control than the stuff that they send out. I've had decent shaves with a Parker. I'm not going to diss the Parker. I think Parker has had some hits, had some misses as well. But yeah, that's an interesting point. It also, according to Rod, says it leaves A lot of blade edge hanging out in space and chatters a lot for my... Yes, for me, against the grain. Yeah. It's interesting. If you're going to pick up an open comb, try and acquire a good quality. I mean, these base plates, they're everywhere. Alibaba has them and all this. They're just, they're dime a dozen. You can get these in, and have a look at that, see if you can. There you go. Yeah, you can pick them up for $3 or $4. They're very inexpensive, and boy, do you feel it sometimes. Now, Rod has said that he finds the closed comb to be more aggressive than the open comb. Thank you, sir. Yes, okay. I wondered because you said closed. You said closed, and I was wondering what the distinction was there. Yes, very good. Well, this has been the case. A lot of people have said this. They've said that the open comb is a little more comfortable. I haven't found the open comb to be more aggressive, but then I guess it has to do with technique as well. If you were to put an open comb into a person that's thinking of getting into shaving for the very first time and said, listen, this is what you're going to shave with, I suspect they'd be discouraged from the whole enterprise. They'd say, look, I don't know about that. It looks kind of aggressive. There's teeth. It looks like, it looks like Jaws or something, and I think it's going to mess my face up. So I don't really want to get into that. I can understand that. But as I said, having said that, it's all a personal preference. One of the things you need to be mindful, though, with the open comb compared to, let's say, the closed comb, is that if you drop an open comb, there is a higher likelihood of you damaging or bending one of the little teeth, the tooths, and depending on where you purchase the razor, or whether it's a Fatip or whether it's a Parker or whatever the case may be, or one of these generic, typically Pakistani razor heads, then don't expect too much from it. Obviously, because it's weakened. There, you have all these little teeth that when the teeth hit the floor, then you're in trouble. You're probably now. Does that mean that the closed comb, you won't damage the closed comb if you drop? Absolutely not. I've seen some closed comb safety razors that have met the floor, and they should stay there. Yes, it's just not. It's just not good. Don't drop your razor. Leon says that being old, you're not old, Leon. Come on. Being old, my whiskers are different, and the open comb works than when in my late teens and 20s, being near to my late 60s. Late 60s, huh? Well, that's interesting. As one ages, there is less pigment in the whiskers, making them a little bit more tougher, for want of a better term. Particularly if you haven't shaved for a day or two, and the stubble on a gentleman with grey hairs is going to be a lot tougher than someone that still has pigment. Pigment assists in that flexibility, pliability, and so on. And in that case, an open comb, I can see exactly why you would want to use it. As I say, when I started getting into this, I was in my 20s actually. Yeah. And I had less success, or felt less comfortable, or didn't reach for an open comb as much as I did in my late 30s, 40s, 50s. We'll stop there. I don't think I need to go any further. So that's it. Thanks for that, Leon. Rob Bruno, thanks for joining us, Rob. Thanks for joining live. Been using the closed comb for a few years now. What is the best open comb razor for me to start out with? Older razor or newer models? Interesting. I like older open comb razors. If you can get your hands on one that's in fairly good condition and you can sanitize it and do all the things that one needs to do when they purchase a pre-loved razor, then start with it. I have found some to be aggressive, others to be less so. The new ones to me, okay, so let's have a look at this one. If I pull this one apart, you can just have a look at it. This is an Icon. Have a look at that. I mean, and you can see those teeth are they're quite pronounced, but there's also a bit of they turn up. There's a bit of a little turn in there. And I suspect that's also, apart from it being a little more comfortable, because it's a rounded edge there, it also has a little bit more of a modern look, and it's stronger. It seems to be stronger. I've had I had great success with with an Icon. So perhaps if they're still available, I don't know if they are or not, I'd probably go for it. Experiment. Try whatever works for you. Even try these Pakistani and Indian. Oh, that must be rain. This one here, I believe, is I think it's made in the subcontinent somewhere, but you get a decent enough shave. Are you going to get the best shave in the world? I don't know. I don't know if such a shave exists, but I would experiment. Just try. I mean, I've put this on a Mueller handle, so that's the good thing about them. They're fairly universal, and you can create Frankenstein-styled razors, depending on what your tastes are. If you can access an older model, do so. I think they will certainly reward. Absolutely, there's absolutely no doubt about that. I mean, I think it's well worth investigating. I hope that rain isn't disrupting the audio much, but if you can still hear me, because it's now turned into a dull roar. You can hear it. Okay, all right. Okay, well, that is not fun for anybody. If you have any questions, feel free to ask below, and I will attempt to answer them. Otherwise, I think that's about it, really. Should you try an open comb razor? Absolutely. Is it more aggressive than a closed comb? Not necessarily. Does it provide a comfortable shave? I've had great shaves with open comb razors. Try not to drop any razor, but I think an open comb will definitely tell you that it's been dropped. The Merkur 25C I found to be quite flimsy. Yeah, and it's not my favourite. Merkur does an open comb. I think they do too. They do the 1904 in an open comb, and they do the 25C model. I don't have a picture of it here to show you. It's well worth having a look at. And Rod's told us that the Icon B1 open comb is on sale at $85 US. Fair price. Try it. I think Icons. Now I believe they were being manufactured in Thailand, if I'm not mistaken. But they're very good. There's nothing wrong with them at all. I reach for an Icon. I also happen to reach for a above the tie. I have an above the tie open comb razor. In fact, I might have one. No, I don't have one here to show you. But next time I'm on, I'll just show you my above the tie. I think it's an S2. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful razor. But as I say, I don't really reach for them as much, and it's not because I don't like them. It's just, I don't. When I do reach for them is when I've had a 7, 8, 9, 10-day growth. Yes, that does happen from time to time if I'm on vacation or something like that and I don't shave. I know, I should be punished for that. Then I will use an open comb, but I also happen to use a slant razor in that instance, and we can talk a little bit more about that and whether that's a gimmick or not in another live. The rain falls on the just and unrighteous alike. Yes, indeed, my friend, this is true. And I guess on that note, I should probably bid you all farewell. Thank you for watching us on this live, which is now, as I said, exclusively on YouTube. I'm not going to mess around with any other social media platform. Tell your friends about it. The more the merrier, because then we can have a conversation. And I think I'm going to explore getting other people on and doing not so much interview. I might do some interviews, but just having discussions, live discussions with people, because I think that creates a much better viewing experience. I think it's rather than a talking head, particularly this particular talking head. And Rod, thank you, sir. Yes, I will enjoy the precipitation. We've had so much precipitation here, though, that I'm starting to grow gills. It's great if you're a duck, or if you have webbed feet, but it's a bit too much, Roderick. But thank you for the sentiment. I really appreciate that. Leon, again, some very nice open comb razors coming out. Yes, absolutely. And Finn, too short of a visit. Discussion will be good. Yes, I think discussion will be much better. Again, as I said, I don't want to be on here just sending things one way. Maybe if you'd like to reach out and have some technology on your end, a camera or something, maybe you can do something like that going forward. As I say, this is about sharing, learning experiences, and sharing the sorts of things that I've picked up over the years. I will just say that somebody asked, why are you doing these videos here and not in your normal thing? I'm now actually in the warehouse. This is Studio B, and I'm not in the store. The store ones I could do after hours, but now we're well and truly within hours, and that's why I'm here. There's no other reason. Yes, maybe I should just remove this screen one day, and you can see what's behind the curtain. Anyway, it's time for me to bid you farewell and follow that yellow brick road. Until next time, folks, be well, and we'll see you in the next live.